And now, for the reason we have come today, to hear our inspirational speakers. Il est maintenant temps pour moi et vous présenter nos conférenciers. I would like to introduce you to Queen's University students Jen Walsh and Laura Hickey. Thank you for that wonderful reception to these two courageous students. So I'll tell you a little bit about each of them. So Jen Walsh is in the final year of her Master's of Occupational Therapy degree at Queen's University. She obtained a BSc in Kinesiology at the University of Alberta. She completed a non-traditional placement at a retirement home. In a setting with no on-site occupational therapy preceptor, she relied on her theory application, her student teammate, and leadership skills to create an environment to mobilize her knowledge in order to better the lives of her clients. Jen is currently working on research in the area of knowledge translation at the provincial policy level, in relation to the care of Aboriginal veterans. And Laura Hickey is currently also in her second year at Queen's University in the Master's of Science Occupational Therapy program. She graduated from Roca Laurier with honors Bachelor of Arts degree in Kinesiology and Physical Education. Following her undergrad, she attended Humber College, an exercise science and lifestyle management program. Before continuing her education at Queen, she spent 2 years working as a kinesiologist. She decided to pursue studies in OT because after working alongside an OT and witnessing the role of OT on the healthcare team. So welcome, Jen and Laura.
Hi everyone, and happy OT month.
Yay.
Okay. Yes. So, as mentioned, I'm Laura and this is Jen. We're both second year OT students from Queen's University. And we've been invited today to talk about what inspired us to join in pursuing a career in occupational therapy and what continues to keep us motivated as we're pursuing our studies and entering soon into the profession as working OTs. And just thank you very much for allowing us to talk today and to share our story with you guys. So as mentioned, before deciding to apply to OT and joining this profession, I worked as a kinesiologist, and what I loved most about that job was I got to meet so many great people through my patients and through the clients that I got to work with, and I just loved that aspect, that I got to talk to people on a daily basis and just got to discover the person behind the injury. The one challenge I did have was I didn't have the skills to address some of the issues that they had. And after working alongside an OT, I learned that he had the skills to do it, and that was something that I really wanted to put as part of my skill set so that I could better help the patients that I worked with. And that was kind of my motivation, my reasoning for wanting to apply to OT and to join the profession.
I'm also a kines background, and my story is a little bit different. I didn't get in my first year of applications, and it was a blessing in disguise. I started working with an amazing kiddo. She's 6, going on 16, and pretty much my best friend. She's really sassy, caring, and hilarious, and has really complex motor issues. So I'm just going to paint a little picture for you. So I was working with her for about 4 months, and she was 4 years old at this time. And both of us are sitting in her kitchen. She's in her wheelchair, and there's juice everywhere. Her seat's soaked. I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to put that in the dishwasher. The dog is covered in juice. It's in my hair. It's in her hair. It's everywhere. And then she puts both hands on her sippy cup, brings it to her mouth, takes a drink, and puts the cup down on the ground. I lose it. I start crying. She's so proud of herself. And that was 4 months of work, probably 10 gallons of juice, and I think over 15 sippy cups before we got to that point. But knowing I can make a difference in someone's life, and she went to school that year, preschool, and got to drink independently with her peers rather than taking a bottle. It made her school experience a possibility and not being an outsider. So that moment I was like, okay, OT, done. Like it doesn't matter how long until I get in, but that's what I need to do. So good news, we both got in. Exciting. And that was the start to our adventure. So day one, we have orientation. It's really exciting. It's a week. We start to get to know people. And then you get put into learning teams at Queen's. I'm not sure if you guys do similar things, yeah? So there's 6 people with the most diverse backgrounds you could think of. Someone from marketing, Kenese, health science, someone was just general arts and literature review and those kind of things. So we had people from everywhere. And then they're like, you're gonna work together for the next year. And you're terrified, but then they turn out to be some of your best friends and future colleagues. And that's something that I think is so unique about a profession, really exciting, is that we get to learn not only from our clients, but we get to learn from each other. And we just come back from such a different background that there's endless opportunities for collaboration within our profession.
So now that Jen's talked a little bit about the peers that we get to work with every day, we also have the opportunity to learn from our mentors. So that's our preceptors, our professors, the people in the community that volunteer their time, who have the lived experience of disability that we're able to learn from, and that we're able to pick their brains and see what it truly is like to be an OT and what the role of an OT does in the community. And one of my first experiences in first year, kind of very right at the beginning of the program, at Queen's we have this course where we actually interview people in the community, and we just get to kind of trial and error our OT skills. And it's our therapeutic relations course. And the preceptor that I had, the way she explained it was, just get to know the person. Just don't worry about what's wrong with them, what they can't do. Just find out what matters to them. And that's really at the heart of OT, is finding out what matters to people so that we can try and help them as best we can. And so through learning through our preceptors, through our teachers, and have one here with us today, we're able to really soak up, we're like sponges at this point. Like, we're just absorbing all the information that they have to give, and they're so passionate about their field and their kind of slice of the pie, and we're just able to soak up all it is that they're able to give us.
Along with mentors, we get to learn hands-on in placement opportunities. I'm sure you guys have all been there. And so I just want to talk about one of the surreal moments. It's kind of like an aha, I get why I'm here moments in my first placement. So like you guys heard, I was in a non-traditional emerging role at a retirement home, so there's no OT on site. So I go in there, and this is after only a couple months semester, so we don't really know what OTs do yet either. And go in, do some initial interviews, COPMs, physical assessment, those kind of things. And I started running traditional groups, the ones you see run everywhere. So seated exercise and brain teasers and those kind of things. And I looked around and everyone was bored. No one really cared. No one was improving. Everyone was just pretty stagnant. So then I started thinking about, okay, well, what do I know about OT? I know evidence. So I went to the research, and I was with another student. So we went back and found out, okay, so the biggest thing in fall prevention, Tai Chi. All right, I don't think my population's gonna like Tai Chi, but how can I frame it differently? And then we learned a little bit about music and reflection and how those really can trigger memories. So we're like, okay, let's work with that for some of the brain stuff. And we ended up creating a circus. It was a long story, but I ended up walking through the retirement home juggling to get people interested in what's going on. So once we had a couple people in the room, we set up some tight ropes, well, tape on the ground, but, and also courses, and created a circus. So our programs were super successful, and people kept coming. So the program size doubled or tripled in size, which was really exciting, and people actually enjoyed their time there. And so we were feeling really successful, and like, wow, we made a difference. And so I started to do some closing interviews, and I went to a gentleman who will forever be with me, I think. He had some verbal issues and a little bit of, I think it was a lot of confidence issue, reflecting back now. But he was known as like a really easygoing guy, so like interview him first, like he just wants to do like be part of the group. Perfect. So I'm going to do my closing interview. It's going to be a quick 10-minute COPM, like look through it. And I come in and he kind of breaks down and he's crying. And I have to put the standard assessment aside and just, we had a real moment together. And he disclosed to me that what he's not satisfied in his life is not being able to share a joke or a laugh with his son anymore. His speech was really affected when, as soon as someone didn't understand his first couple words, I think he lost all his confidence. So as long as you knew what kind of topic he was talking about, he was more comfortable and the words would flow. So we created a communication book together, and it was honestly a book of talks. and then a couple of yes/no kind of check boxes. So it was really simple, but over a week and a half, because I didn't have much time in the placement left, we just wrote it, changed it. I think there was like 15 editions of it by the time we had a working document. And he brought it around with him. So we're like, oh man, guy actually using technology, like this is cool. So that was really successful. And my other student partner and I, we were really excited to have made a difference. And then we're walking by the nursing station, and the nurse was like, have you checked in on that client? And we're like, oh no, we're just starting a program, we need to go now. And we went, and him and his son are laughing. So it was pretty amazing. But we didn't just make a difference there. The whole home started to realize the power of OT and what we can do. So this isn't just us, there's a succession of student placements before us, so we can't take all the credit. But we got invited to come into morning meetings now. So our voice was heard in the morning with the doctors and with the nurses and with everybody else. And that helped us do our role better as well. And then now the home is actually working to create a consulting OT position as a hired position, not through CCAC, but just on their own, which is really amazing. And then my story is not over there. With the Retirement Homes Act coming up for public consultation, I was invited with the rest of the students at that placement facility to go in on a conference call. So I have a little bit of a taste for what you need to do for the base steps for like changing policy. So it was a really, really amazing experience, and understanding that, I mean, OTs, we can make a difference in people's lives, we can change a community, and we can really make policy level change. Yeah, it was a great experience, so those role merging things really great.
So now that we've reflected back on our past year and our experiences even before entering into the program, we want to kind of pause and think forward to what's going to happen in a few months when we're graduating and we're going to be writing our exam and we're going to be out in the real world practicing. So the scope of OT, it's so wide, there's so much breadth to it, and that can feel very daunting at times. But we have come up with an oath that we want to share with you guys to keep us inspired and to keep us focused with our kind of eye on the prize, and that being just to enable our clients as best as we can, because the field of OT, there is so much that we can do. We have such an amazing scope of practice because there's so many ways that we can influence the clients and change their lives.
So rule number 1 is always refer to enabling occupations. Number 2, that evidence important practice is extremely important, and understanding that we need the concrete, peer-reviewed knowledge and all the stuff we're learning in school, but also that clinician experience and kind of, our gut instinct, what makes us better than a wiki page. So mastering that art is something that we can be passionate about. Second of all, we get to be client-centered or client-directed. I mean, who else gets to spend their whole day helping someone find meaning or helping someone do something that is meaningful to them? Like, I don't know any other profession that gets to do that all day long. 3 is actually a quote from our professor. Our lens is not a one-trick pony. So we have a unique skill set that creates endless possibilities in our profession, which is another thing. I don't really know any profession that is so broad and has such a such a reach. Number 4 is when in doubt, engage, enable, collaborate, or advocate. You're pretty much set to go with one of those. Finally, we really want to just remember that we make real differences in people's lives every day. So if that doesn't inspire you, I don't know what.
And we have just a quote that we wanted to end off with from the movie Patch Adams. So you can treat a disease and you either win or lose. When you treat a person, I guarantee you win, no matter what the outcome.